Hey everyone, this is Vorkoskin78, and in this video I'd like to share with you a Lego MOC that I'm working on. This is kind of the early stages, so it's just more like a preview. I'll be following up later with the full thing. But basically this one is based on a game called Into the Breach, which came out in 2018 and is available on PC and Switch. Basically it's a turn-based strategy game, and in that game you have mech characters. You have different squads of 3 mechs each that you use to fight against giant bugs, basically, and protect the people of Earth and rescue these different islands. So what I wanted to do is make basically like a miniature style, almost board game version of these mechs and enemies and the environment that you play in. So it's basically each mission is on a 8x8 grid, kind of like a chessboard, and what I'm doing is creating the grid sections out of Lego, as well as the characters. Okay, so there's some sections I'm working on. So what I've started with here is I made the Flame Behemoths squad. So you have the Meteor Mech that I showed, have the Swap Mech, which is like a science class mech that can transport or basically switch places with enemies. Right? I showed the Meteor Mech, which is like artillery or range class, and then you have the Prime class mech here, the Flame Mech. So each one is on a 6x6 plate, and each section of land is 8x8. So I end up with like a 64x64 stud build ultimately. Here's some of the enemies. So there's quite a few enemies, but I just created 3 so far. We have a scarab bug, which does a ranged attack, right? So they're like all giant bugs. Then, try to keep the focus here. This is a what do you call it? The scorpion. A scorpion type. And then firefly. I'm still working on the firefly. I'm not totally happy with the way like the body wings section looks, so I'm going to be working on that a bit. But that's an early prototype of it. So there's the enemies and the characters that you play with. And the idea is that this MOC really should be almost playable like a board game. So I'll be having like some different environment effects, like you could set things on fire. Of course, these are the flame behemoths. You know, the hit points of each of the units, have a way of capturing that, right? And have all the different sections of land. So, right there, these are modules that are 8x8 each. So here's some water. If you push the Vec, the giant bugs, into the water, that kills them unless they're flying or one of the boss guys. And then you know, have a lot of just grassland as well as areas with buildings. So you got to protect the buildings from getting damaged. So there's just a couple kind of generic skyscrapers, and then there's also some special buildings associated with objectives. Right. So these are all just modules that could then be moved around and reconfigured. And before I put that down, actually, I'm going to show. So at the beginning of a turn, right, the enemies are going to be attacking a certain spot. So you can indicate that with these little red sections, right? So say maybe this guy's going to get attacked by, well, I don't really have enough room here, but let's say that they could stand in some grass over here instead of water. Right, he's going to get attacked, so he's marked with the red. So that's kind of the idea of how you could actually like play the game with the Lego MOC. Right, and I'll have a way to capture, you know, how many hit points are left and all that kind of stuff. So still in the early stages. I'm working on building up the basically the world, which, like I said, it's going to be 64x64 studs. So here's just, you know, a small section. Some of the sections I'll build up in bigger pieces, so it won't be totally reconfigurable, but you know, it just would take a awful lot of pieces to do them all as truly modular 8x8 piece sections. So here's a little section of 2x3 section I'm working on that has a mountain. You can actually destroy the mountains in the game. And yeah, there'll be other stuff built on here. You won't be able to see the black once it's built up, except for the kind of the corner markers that like the attack squares would fit into. So I'm going to be doing a lot of brick link orders for all the pieces I need to complete this and to fine tune some of these guys. So it'll be a little while till I have the complete one, but I'll share that on here as well, so stay tuned if you're interested. And yeah, thanks for watching.